My Hero Academia Vigilantes, episode 9, titled Mom Descends. And Lord Almighty, our boy has learned how to fly, but still not talk to a girl. Let's talk about it. Alright, guys, Brent here back for Geek Variants, cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. And as some of you may have seen, we've got more of our MomoCon stuff flooding out. Thanks to the hard work behind the scenes from Tony, we'll have all those videos up for you within the next couple days, so keep your eyes peeled if you want to see more exclusives like our interviews with Damien Haas, Nolan North, and our panel pertaining to Demon Slayer and X-Men 97 later down the pipe. But you're here for My Hero Academia Vigilantes, and it was a very, very solid episode. We get a kind of huge backstory pertaining to Koichi and kind of like how his family life was, how things kind of have been, and then ultimately some of how he got actually repressed as a hero just because of a mother's love, which honestly, when it is explained, it does make sense, but at the same time, you kind of have to feel for him in a sense that it feels like he was stifled in a sense from what was originally going on here. But we also have the big moment of his identity is completely blown off the rails. Throughout this episode, we are kind of dealing overall with his mom just kind of lurking and being around. She sees directly through Makoto arriving and trying to assist Koichi and pretending to be his girlfriend because mom literally looks at her and goes, "Nope, too pretty, too smart, too well spoken. What the heck are you doing with my son? This doesn't make sense. This doesn't check out." I call Cap immediately. And honestly, that's fair. Koichi is both awkward, socially weird, doesn't know how to talk with women, doesn't know how to flirt with women, doesn't know how to understand women, and let alone not having any cool like quirks or even having the ability to even be like fantastic at a steady 9 to 5. So where he's like financially well off. Yeah, he's not pulling Makoto. Not in this world, not in the next world. He's just there. And she's just being nice and giving him a favor because she expects to get her next big scoop from him anyway, because she's been playing him like a fiddle the same way that she played our hero last week. So we're definitely seeing a pattern here that Makoto knows how to play men like it's nobody's business. So hats off to her for playing the game. Shame on Koichi for not picking this up sooner. However, what I didn't see coming throughout this episode is we both got the name for both Popstep and for Knuckle Duster revealed throughout the episode. And what was crazy is that the minute Knuckle Duster arrived, even though Koichi's mom is still talking about father, like she needs to go get gifts for him, the first time she sees Knuckle Duster, she calls him daddy. What? Why in the. There's so many questions I don't even have time for. But the worst part about it all is Makoto does the same thing. They both take one look at Knuckles and just like, "Yo, how you doing?" And it's like, if only you knew how much of a savage this man was in his free time. But also, we're starting to figure out that Knuckle Duster's got a lot going on because he was dressed actually fancy. He's been very formal of late. He's been super polite of late. He hasn't been training as much. Things in his personal life are probably starting to spill over, which next week we're looking to get some answers for. So, kind of curious to see ultimately where that takes us. However, Knuckle Duster was super professional, super forward, and earned the respect of Koichi's mom, which was crazy. However, Pop Step then shows up and she tried to ingratiate herself to everybody, but mom saw right through. Is like, "What the heck are you trying to do with my son? Go away, get out of here." Only for her to stand up for Koichi at some moment in time, turn beet red from blushing, and then leave. Which then, Makoto is like, "Hey, go encourage her, go be kind, give her a compliment. She probably needs it." So Koichi, the best thing he can do is say, "Hey, I like your outfit. Good start." However, couldn't stick the landing if his life depended on it because he literally said, "It looks so casual." I don't think most people want to hear that their outfit is casual, therefore it looks good. Just gonna throw that out there. I know there's some fits that are meant for that. What PopStep has been trying to get from you is not a at a girl great casual look. So again, but also there's this age gap that people still need to remember. So if we keep shipping people, don't. And then as we continue to move on forward here, we see that the monster cat gets broken loose on everything, which of course Makoto, Koichi's mom, and Koichi are stuck inside this monster cat bus, because why else in this universe would we have a normal quirk? Turns out Knuckles is basically able to distract the cat at least and get it onto the expressway, because the cat was just rampaging, because of course it was shot with trigger in the back. So we just kind of were able to see where this experimental drug was taken and how things are affecting not only just people, but it can affect animals as well. So this is great. I have a great test subject for everything that they got going on pertaining to All for One's plan, just to kind of get things up and going. However, what no one really counted on was Ingenium. Yes, the cool Ingenium, not the Ingenium we have in the My Hero Academia later on versus his little brother, who still sucks. And I'll stand behind that. This Ingenium is smart, and he's able to think on his feet, and he's not really just kind of a pencil pusher. He's able to calculate and figure out everything's going on. However, he did run out of juice throughout the mission, so Koichi had to step it into overdrive. Go ahead and grab this juice, tell off his mom, who told him that he can't do anything, and that to save this for the real heroes, which Koichi, of course, snaps, I know my place, I'm going to go do my thing, which she is thoroughly impressed by, because I think she's just this doting mother who oversteps just a bit and kind of has kept him down. Ultimately, he was able to get the juice to Ingenium. Ingenium was then able to get everyone off the bus. And from there, we were able to kind of assess the situation well, except for one thing. Makoto was the only one who did not get off the bus. Therefore, we are now in a breakneck pace to go ahead and try and get her off there. Ingenium's out of juice. Koichi decides, screw it. I'm going to go ahead and play hero. And he sped himself up so dang fast, he was able to actually catch up with the bus, get inside, grab Makoto, and then jump off, hoping to try and get Ingenium, who had turned himself basically into a human missile, launch himself at them so they can try and grab hands, connect, and be able to land safely. Koichi missed by about that much, which, hey, still got to give the boy props. He's definitely shining out. However, the best part came for last. He was able to, through the power of belief, manifest his quirk to the point that his rotations that he had been going on the ground to where he's able to move so fast, he's able to rotate at such a pace that ultimately he was able to fly / levitate just long enough that he was able to pass off Makoto to Ingenium, then take a tumble but land safely. However, in the process, his identity was revealed, and Makoto saw his face and knows that the crawler, or as she referred to him as the crueler, is in fact Koichi. So we'll see the fallout of that next week, as well as the fact that Makoto seems to be getting closer and closer with Pop Step, and we're going to get some more information pertaining to Knuckle Duster. I'm Brent for Geek Variants. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed the content, as we cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more, with more MomoCon stuff fresh on the way, as well as Skyrim when we are able to, because that has been a great series for all of us. I'll see you in the next episode.